Good morning.
The CDC says it takes about 5 years for people with pre-diabetes to achieve type 2. Here at Yellowish Corral, it takes one sitting. Grab a handful of chocolate strawberries, shotgun 2 chocolate jellos, shovel some chocolate mac and cheese. Is that chocolate-covered deep-fried tater tots you smell? No, that's the heart attack coming on. Because here at Yellowish Corral, we believe in one thing: speedrunning life. Yellowish Corral, making fat kids happy since 1982. And RoboCop Rogue City will somehow make you even happier than that. Perfect, we're out of the first 30. Let's roll it!
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Can you fly, Bubby?
I'd buy that for $1.
RoboCop Rogue City is the second Paul Verhoeven adaptation to come this year, and I'm happy to say it's the second time I've come this year as well. Triple N be damned, waddling around as the Nut Punisher himself, throwing IBM monitors from the 80s at people, is the power fantasy I never knew I needed. RoboCop is the most accurate Detroit simulator on the market that proves you can't even have a dick in Detroit because RoboCockless will come to confiscate it. He'll execute a no-knock neutering on your ass. And now I know a lot of people were worried that the gameplay would be robotic and stiff, but I assure you, overuse of unauthorized police force has never felt this good.
You have the right to remain silent.
So without further ado, let's dive into what it's like to play as the least violent man in Detroit.
The best way to cut the costs of policing is to cut the criminals down.
RoboCop Rogue City is everything RoboCop fans are gonna want from a game, more or less. And by that I mean, it's definitely a power fantasy where you play as the walking police fatality known as RoboCop that can backstep into a biker and bounce him into the bosoms of my busted nuns. However, you're not exactly walking off 2 rocket launcher blasts, an Irish special, and 200 rounds either. But if you can get past not being invincible, this game has the fan service, alright? And not the superficial, he's got the BBC Saber kind, before returning to slaughtering your childhood, because the creators of this sequel didn't hate what came before it. You don't see a sad old man RoboCop drinking green titty milk out in the mountains, do you? My point exactly. Now to run through a bit of the fan service, the big baddie is the brother of someone you got killed in RoboCop 1. The largest nuke-producing gang is your largest producer of trash mobs, dealing with the OCP. Several enemy types are taken straight out of the movies. No, there are no child soldiers, alright?
Can't shoot a kid, can you, fucker?
And they bring back more of the dilemma of human or machine that the first movie had before the second one said,
Go fuck a refrigerator!
On top of that, the side quest work and stuff like Sunblock 5000 into a detective mission, and another side quest takes you on a warpath to recover a stolen Suck 6000. But by far the greatest piece of fan service is the fact that they made ball shots do just as much damage as headshots. Come in here, get a little bit of love, Taeyeon. I appreciate you. There's just a lot of love here, pimps. I'm not gonna spoil all of it. Regardless, you don't need to know any of these references to appreciate this outstanding bloody gameplay. At its core, RoboCop is obviously a police game. You investigate, you arrest criminals, you serve the public, maybe buy a little bit of drugs.
Could you advise me how a person who would like to try nuke should go about it?
Hell, you can even give out parking tickets if it's getting towards the end of the month and you need to meet your quotas. Yeah! Yeah, you fucking parked in front of the hydrant, you stupid son of a bitch! Ooh. Except unlike SWAT 4, where you're saving civilians and looking for hands, in RoboCop, you're getting into a competition with a dreadnought to see who can turn more criminals into paste. RoboCop's ROE is engage, engage, engage. Just give them a reason to miss your ass! Which leads me to my first point, the gore in this game is good snuff. Heavy flow for sure. We live in a world where Bethesda's new game has no gore. Think about that. Why? It adds so much impact to all the hits when it's done right. And in RoboCop, I mean, it's just, well, just look at it. Enough said. Well then wait, there's more. This game also has environmental destructibility, so shit's always flying up in the air. It's like a John Woo movie up in here. All we're missing is those fancy pigeons with doves flying up in the air. These car explosions are still shit though, alright? They remind me of Redfall because the car doesn't move at all when it explodes, and I don't like being reminded of Redfall. Next up, graphics. This game looks great. You know, as great as Detroit can look. Now that we talked about the paint, let's talk about how you brush. With the rise of of boomer shooters that would liquefy an actual boomer's brain if they played it, RoboCop is the first shooter a boomer could actually play. And that really comes down to one key difference. RoboCop was not programmed to give a singular fuck, nor was he built to. In boomer shooters, you're fragile, frantically bouncing off the walls until you can find more cover so that you can smoke another pipe. In RoboCop, you're a 500-pound brick shithouse. You slow motion breach through doors, and both you and the AI know they never stood a chance. He shuffles up hallways, dropping nuts 2 by 2. They call him the Nutcracker. Not looking for cover, but being the cover. And when he needs more cover, he lifts up entire dumpsters, then heaves them at the enemy when he's finished. In fact, RoboCop does a whole lot of heaving in this game. Oh, that's really cute that you can throw a coin. RoboCop grabs bikers off bikes and heaves them at other bikers. He uses bikes as frag grenades. He'll shatter your goddamn legs with a damn lawn chair. Pull out the stroller at you with a baby in it. I'm just kidding. The baby hasn't threatened public safety yet. In boomer shooters, you run around the arena hunting down every last enemy. RoboCop doesn't chase. He lets the bitches come to him. Then he says, "Bitches leave." Sigma male energy. Don't worry, you wouldn't understand. You're not gonna ever see him breaking the line rule. Really, my big point here is playing as a body-positive 500-pound action star is an underserved power fantasy market that I'm glad RoboCop can be the one to break down the barriers of. And if we're heading into the market, and Taeyon, hear me on this one, if we're breaking into the market of overweight cops, let's see a Paul Blart game. Next up, let's talk about the guns. The Auto 9 is the best thing since God created the flamethrower. Not only does it annihilate creeps into a meat smoothie, but just listen to this sound.
I'd buy that for $1.
It's one of the best feeling guns that I've used in recent years, to the point where it even makes killing paper a blast. And if you really want to take it to the next level, you can turn it into a minigun using this upgrade and solve Detroit's crippling crime problem at triple the speed. Not into good weapons? You can also pimp the Kalashnikov, or any other enemy weapon for that matter, because you can snatch them right off the ground. You ever wanted to see RoboCop use a 100-round M60 Desert Eagle? Robo Thug with the gas? Have you ever just not liked one man in particular? Have you ever not liked an entire city block? And thanks to RoboCop, one-handing a pump shotgun is no longer exclusive to 2 a.m. sessions. But whatever you use, none of it will be as good as playing basketball. If you thought he was good at killing, wait till you see this clean jump shot. Raindrop! Raindrop! Oh yeah, this one's going in. Dead or alive, he's breaking those ankles. Money in the bank! Watch out, Para-Olympics! RoboCop's coming for that gold medal. Now let's speed run through some of the nitpicks. Here we go. Most of the AI are less expressive than Ed Kemper. Some of these people's mouths are lagging.
Too early. The bachelorette party starts at 8.
Game's got that Bethesda charm to it. You can't turn off DLSS. I already told you about the car explosion. Boss fights with the EDP-209 are like fighting a giant steel old person. What you really need to one-shot him is a flight of stairs. I keep seeing textures rendering in. There's no New Game Plus. Lewis has got black hair here, but then flash forward just a little bit later and all of a sudden now she's a dirty blonde. Did they bottle bleach her hair in the hospital? Think about it. And in RoboCop Rogue City 2, they're gonna force you to play as Lewis. Can you believe it? Playing as not RoboCop in a RoboCop game? Ah, shit, my bad. No, that's Spider-Man 3 was doing that. 4 out of 5 primary directives. Yes, I removed 1 point because a lot of China was not here putting on Sunblock 5000.
Good God.
It's almost as good as Police Mystery, and that's quite the feat for this scrappy little startup. Now, Taeyon, do an old friend a favor and make this one next, will you? Excuse me, I have to go. Somewhere. There are budget cuts happening. Thanks to the flock of pimps for generously funding this video, and another huge thanks to all the pimpers. I got a lot of videos planned for this month.
Not straight. Stay tuned.